over several news and updates, mainly about the situation with ICE and how they're going after undocumented immigrants. It's gonna be mostly that, but I was gonna talk a little bit regarding Musk and Trump's relationship and what's going on in a situation of a court decision, a dispute regarding ballots, also on U.S. citizens. So I'll have a more discussion about that at the end of this video. So first, I want to go over how Musk is possibly leaving the White House. Um, I find it funny how they said, but his bromance with Trump will remain. So basically, what it means that administration internally have been discussing about ending the special government position they gave to Elon Musk at some point. I think it's supposed to end in about a month or two. I think by either May or June, his position will be ending. That's not something that was necessarily going to be permanent, but we know Trump said that was going to always be here in the White House, but they keep changing their minds. A good reason to change their minds probably because of the backlash that's been going on with Musk, because all the actions, illegal crap that Musk been doing, thanks to Trump allowing him to do whatever he wants, has caused Musk to lose a lot of money with Tesla sales and people leaving Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Among all the businesses endeavors that he has or wants to do. So things have been causing to lose billions of dollars actually. And eventually it's gonna really hit you hard. Even if you rebuy stocks and stuff with the whole we know the situation with the stock market crashing. I'll make a video more specifically about that later. But that's probably why Trump even more so wants to kind of get rid of Musk because him alone is kind of causing the Republicans to potentially be losing some special elections. At least that might be the mentality more for future elections in 2026 because the midterm elections are coming up next year, and those are going to be important ones. And Trump doesn't want Musk to be a reason why they're losing. So that could be why he's still gonna be working with Musk. It's not like Musk is not gonna help financially and all that. That's still gonna keep going. But they kind of want him to be removed at least from Doge and kind of get rid of his face as of being the leader of Doge. They kind of want to get rid of at least that part of it. They want Doge to keep going, but maybe not have Musk directly being the center of it to reduce some backlash. That's my guess. You know, we knew that it's not gonna be indefinite position for Musk, but he's probably wants to leave too because he's losing money. A lot of bad decisions that him and Trump made. So that's basically what this article is about. You know, I'm gonna scroll down so you guys can pause and read things more in detail. But this is not really a surprise. This was about to happen eventually. And the thing is that Musk's popularity has been going down, and none of the megas, supporters are gonna really go crazy and buying Teslas. They're not really buying Teslas, and it's a global issue for Musk because European countries not buying Teslas. I think Australia is also kind of deciding not to. Many Americans have decided to sell their car or just not get a new lease, not finance anything new, and just deal with the current Tesla they have. So a lot of people are kind of giving up on Tesla for now. There's no guarantee this will keep happening, but it's been an issue. It's very possible they might try that Tesla as a corporation might try to kick Musk out of Tesla as a CEO. They probably want to get rid of him because he's causing them to lose tons of money. Which would probably be bad for Musk, but this guy is a multi-billionaire. He still has what over $200 billion. He's worth a lot of money. He'll be fine. It does not stop him from being a billionaire, but billionaires don't like losing money of any kind. They don't like even paying just the fair share of taxes. So never mind actually losing money. And they definitely not want to contribute to Social Security at all. That's why they never want to remove the cap completely and make the millionaires and billionaires pay for it. But yeah, they just talking about this. And big reason why is because of Wisconsin Supreme Court election happened and they lost. They didn't win. The Republicans lost pretty big actually on that one. That was a big issue. And the polls are showing that his popularity is not great, and his whole situation with dismantling agencies like USAID, IRS, Social Security, Department of Homeland Security in a way. That's more with the person who's the head of FBI and stuff, but the way they're using DHS has been very aggressive towards undocumented immigrants. And who knows, some people might be blaming Musk on the chaos of a lot of things. So they probably just want to keep going with the actions, but they don't want Musk to kind of be the face of anything right now. So it's not really a surprise. I'm gonna keep scrolling down so you guys can read more, but that's basically it. There are a little more details there, but I kind of just want to skim through and give you guys a brief explanation of the situation. IRS, you guys may have not been knowing this, but this already been going on since at least last month or two. IRS been working on some type of data sharing deal with ICE. What that means is that basically IRS will utilize the data they obtain from undocumented immigrants who filed the tax return and pay the taxes, even though they get no federal benefits. They're going to share that data information potentially with ICE. That's the agreement they're trying to make with ICE. Probably IRS would do it because it's been chaotic. They've been firing people. So maybe they're trying to make this deal so that maybe push Trump to not continue the firing and be IRS needs every single person possible to work for them. So this will definitely be happening. So they're gonna be sharing this data with ICE to target the more undocumented immigrants who are just doing the right thing. Even though undocumented immigrants, once again, are not eligible for federal benefits, SNAP, welfare, any type of welfare program, they cannot utilize any federal benefits. But they only use that data so they can find addresses and go after any undocumented immigrant. Don't be surprised if they use this to go after DACA recipients and all the individuals who may not have anything inside because technically they have protection from deportation, but with Trump in power, DACA is not that strong potentially. So he already weakened it several times, and it just keep getting attacked by the judicial branch a lot. So that's basically the deal. I'll scroll down so you guys can kind of go over it. They want to go after undocumented immigrants as much as possible. That's the whole point. And they basically gonna do this. So any way, shape, or form they can get someone's tax ID number, which is what undocumented immigrants have, and use that to go after them, they will. So that's basically what they're talking about. We've seen that. I'm just gonna read something really quick about this. We have seen that the administration certainly pulling out all the stops in trying to use every potential level of the government to find and deport undocumented immigrants, which is true. That's basically the goal. They've been trying to do this for a while, but they go after any undocumented immigrants. They're not just going after the criminals, the so-called murderers and the ones who commit sexual assault. They're going after everyone. Now, this is the next thing is about Trump asks U.S. Supreme Court to pause order to return men deported to El Salvador in error. So those other articles that I was talking about is from The Guardian. Another was from different location. This is from Yahoo News. Most of them from late March to April. This is from April 7, 2025. And this is a big one because they deported someone who was technically a U.S. citizen to El Salvador, claiming that he was part of MS-13, stuff like that. And that was a legal deportation. Technically, the court made it in order where Trump has to bring the person back. This is incredibly illegal. There was no good reason to do this. But as I said, Trump is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to pause the order to return this man. Again, this is extreme overreach by the president, aka Trump, and that's literally fascism. This is what I expect. With fascism is really coming to a full circle. This is part of it. With Trump, will be. I don't care if you're a citizen, maybe not part of any gang, but I don't care. I don't care what you are. You could be a citizen now, not be part of any gang, and I'm still gonna deport you. That's problem. That's fascism. That's not even going by the Constitution anymore or any legal laws and policies. It's Trump doing whatever he wants due to Project 2025. So yeah, this is a big issue. I'm gonna keep scrolling down. They kind of give a background on the situation that happened. Here they're stating that U.S. cannot guarantee success in sensitive international negotiations in advance, least of all when a court imposes an abs- absurdly compressed mandatory deadline that vastly complicates the give and take of foreign relations negotiations. So the Justice Department just said that, right? In a filing to the Supreme Court. This does not make sense. They fucked up. They deported a U.S. citizen who was not part of any gang They're not committing any actual criminal acts, and now they're trying to go to the Supreme Court to pause this order from the judge. It doesn't make sense. This is just true fascism. They should not allow this to happen. This should be something that the Supreme Court should say no and make a rule agreeing with the other judge and saying they have to get this person back or they be under contempt, put them in prison, whatever, do something. This is a perfect example of why this is a problem. So the White House and administration officials have accused Abrego Garcia of being a member of the criminal gang MS-13. This is what I was talking about, which again is untrue. There's no pending charges against him about this. They have no evidence. Even so, he's still a U.S. citizen. He still has a legal course they have to go through. They have to prove in the court of law before deport. They're supposed to. Trump is doing these things because he wants to push the limits of what he can do until the courts, if the courts will ever try to stop him. If there truly is a constitution and we have actual laws where the president is not above the law, which is not supposed to be according to the constitution, then this is the time when you're supposed to put Trump under contempt and everyone else under him. And if they had to use the military to do so, this is the time to do it. Don't allow fascism to continue. Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court can also do this. They can definitely put a stop on this. Republicans in Congress, just like Democrats, can actually do something, but they're not doing anything. The Republicans are stopping, in particular, any action from Democrats to stop Trump from continuing what he's doing. They're also the reason why Trump was never impeached when they had the chance. So this is just more information about it. So this is a big issue. So this is just an article that is very similar to the previous one that I just talked about. IRS nearing agreement to use its data to help isolate undocumented migrants from March 23rd, 2025. This is just talking about the same thing. It's not because that article may not been the best one. It was very short. I just want to show that this has been something that IRS and the Department of Homeland Security have been trying to make an agreement to go after undocumented immigrants by IRS providing the data that they have on any undocumented immigrant. So that's the whole point, the tax information they have. So undocumented immigrants who, try to just do the right thing, now they get in trouble. This is going to basically be a way to go after, in a very, truly fascist way to go after undocumented immigrants, as if they're the big issue of this country, right? When most undocumented immigrants are not the problem. So this is just another article just talking about that. This is from the USCIS, U.S. Immigration Customs Enforcement website, an update regarding the Delegation of Immigration Authority Section 287G Immigration Nationality Act. So this talks about how the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act of 1996 added Section 287G to the Implementation Nationality Act, authorizing U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) to delegate to state and local law enforcement officers the authority to perform specified immigration officer functions under the agency's direction and oversight. All this mumbo jumbo just means that now ICE is allowing local and state cops to go after people even more, especially anyone they deemed as undocumented immigrant. So this is going to cause a lot of issues because we know they're going to go after a lot of Hispanics, a lot of people from Africa, a lot of people who from Asia. So expect a lot of illegal arrests, detentions in in all this action, and they're gonna cite this the reason why that they had the authority to do this. So this is obviously a very big issue. So this is the ICE 287G program map. This gives more explanation of what the colors means. The program model of the 287G, like the jail enforcement model, is designed to identify and process removable aliens, just means undocumented immigrants, and even documented ones too. So they claim this for the ones that have criminal charges or pending. It's not. It's gonna be for everyone. The task force model, just another way for the local and state law enforcement agencies to go after limited immigration authority with ICE oversight. So they're gonna have to basically anyone they deem as an immigrant to create a whole task force for that. Warrant service officer. Program allows ICE to train, certify, and authorize the state and local law enforcement officers to serve and execute administrative warrants on aliens, which are just undocumented and documented immigrants, in the NC's jail. So they, instead of going after white supremacist groups, the ones that are domestic terrorists and actual pedophiles, they're gonna go after immigrants. And let's be honest, that's the whole point. They don't care about actually doing the right thing. As of April 7, 2025 at 9 a.m., which is today, ICE has signed 444 memorandums of agreement for 287G programs covering 38 states. These include GM agreements with 86 law enforcement agencies in 25 states, 287G 287G WSO agreements with 180 law enforcement agencies in 27 states, and 287G TFM agreements with 178 agencies in 22 states. So yeah, it's a big issue. Next, on April 2nd, 2025, on NewJersey.com website, Newark Mayor Baraka says city is suing ICE to block immigration detention center. So we already know the New York mayor Baraka has been fighting against ICE for a while. This is not something he just did recently. He's been against Trump for a while too, and he just been more pissed off this year because Trump administration has been basically sending ICE specifically in New Jersey, especially Newark, a lot. So if anyone knows about Newark Penn Station, where a lot of people use that to go to New York City, other areas of New Jersey, they use the Amtrak to go to DC, Manhattan, uh, etc. So it's something you can do. You can use the Amtrak from New York Penn Station to go to Boston, Massachusetts, etc. So it's a big issue. It's been something that has been targeting specifically North Jerseyans a lot. And I'm not surprised Baraka did this. It's a good thing. So today, the city of New York is filing a complaint with Access County Superior Court because ICE has opened the Delaney Hall facility without following proper building safety protocols. So just putting people in jail cells basically without actually properly understanding the policy and laws regarding that. They failed to give city officials access to conduct inspections required under municipal ordinances and state code. This violates city and state law. So it's a good lawsuit. So the Department of Engineering imposed a stop work order to halt any and all construction on the site today. Okay. I have no issue with that. GEO Group is basically it's a whole private company that hires people to basically work as in jail prison, private jails prison, and it's not really a great company because any company that literally works with ICE and is a private prison system, it's not a good thing. So GEO Group is basically that. Their whole contract with ICE, they love ICE. It just gives them more money. So this, I'm just gonna scroll down to go more in details about it. To talk about that. Baraka is also running for Democrat as a Democrat for governor in the state of New Jersey this year. So there's going to be a primary also. So that's probably more motivation. Now, new court decision in the disputed North Carolina race means 65,000 votes are a step closer to being thrown out. This one NBC News. Um, this is from April 4th, 2025. So basically, in North Carolina, they're trying to throw away uh, ballots that were legal ballots, but they claiming they're fraud or they're legal. And they somehow got ruling that because the Republican majority in that ruling made a decision that a group of more than 65,000 voters whose eligibility was challenged by Republican Supreme Court candidate Jefferson Griffin and his lawyers now have 15 business days to provide state election officials with the necessary proof of identity that will verify their votes to make sure they're American citizens. Why didn't Kamala and all the people and all Democrats do the same shit? You tell me. Republicans will do everything they can to win what they actually lost in the election, and it's unfortunate. The court ruled that any voters who don't respond would not have their votes counted in the race between Griffin and Democrat Allison Riggs, which is still caught in legal battling 5 months after election day. So of course this is part of fascism, and Republicans know they'll take full advantage of this in a state where they have Republicans who can make this rule. So yeah, it's very illegal. The Republicans currently have a 5-2 majority on that court, Carolina. So yeah, there's not much that can be done to stop this. So people who I'm gonna keep scrolling down so you guys can read more in details. So people who are in North Carolina, make sure your vote gets counted. Really try hard to go out of your way to verify yourself. I know it's a pain in the ass. It's not your fault, but this is what Republicans do to disenfranchise uh, American citizens. This is why I keep telling people: make sure you vote. 'Cause voting matters and makes a humongous difference in the long term. All right, so that's basically all for today. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of everything I discussed today. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Watching this on TikTok, just follow us on TikTok, and I'll reply to you guys as much as I can. All right, see you next time.